Welcome back students. Today we will continue the remaining topics from chapter 5. So let's start. Remedial measures. So there are two fundamental policies through which government can intervene in the functioning of an economy, and these are fiscal policy and monetary policy. And these need to be implemented to correct the situation of deficient demand and excess demand. So the first is measures to correct deficient demand. So there are two policy, and they are fiscal policy and monetary policy. So fiscal policy is the revenue and expenditure policy of the government to control the supply of money. And fiscal measures may be undertaken increase of government expenditure and reduction in taxes. So first is increase of government expenditure. So it is a part of fiscal policy. Government incurs expenditure on infrastructural and administrative activities. During deficient demand, the government should increase expenditure on public work like construction of roads, flyovers, etc., with a view to provide additional income to the people. This will increase the aggregate demand and will help to correct the situation of deficient demand. And the next point is reduction in taxes. The other instrument of fiscal policy that will increase aggregate demand is the reduction in the level of taxes. In the face of taxes, consumption is the function of disposable income rather than income. A reduction in the level of taxes will increase the disposable income by the amount of reduction in taxes. So the next policy is monetary policy. So monetary policy is the policy of the central bank of a country to control credit and money supply. And it is broadly divided into two groups. There are quantitative methods and qualitative methods. So under quantitative methods, it includes reduction in margin requirement, model suasions, and selective credit control. So the first one is reduction in margin requirement. So margin requirements refer to the difference between the market value of security offered and the value of amount lent. During deficient demand, central bank reduces the margin, which enhances the credit creating power of bank. Which decrease in margin, commercial bank can grant more loans than before against the same amount of security. It encourages the borrowers to borrow more money and raises the level of aggregate demand. And another method is qualitative method, and it includes reduction in legal reserve ratio, reduction in bank rate, and open market operation. So the first is reduction in legal reserve ratio. The central bank lowers the legal reserve ratio, which enables the commercial bank to create more credit. A reduction in the legal reserve ratio releases money that was earlier required to be kept as reserve either with the central bank or with the banks. Point number 2 is reduction in bank rate. The term bank rate refers to the rate at which central bank lends money to commercial bank as a lender of last resort. During deficient demand, the central bank reduces the bank rate in order to expand credit. It leads to fall in the market rate of interest, which induces people to borrow more funds. It ultimately leads to increase in the aggregate demand. Point number 3, open market operations. Open market operations refers to the sale and purchase of securities in the open market by the central bank. It directly influences the level of money supply in the economy. During deficient demand, the central bank starts purchasing securities from the open market. It increases the money supply and enhances the purchasing power, capacity, and increases level of aggregate demand in the economy. Next, measures to correct excess demand. So there are two policy, and they are fiscal policy and monetary policy. And under fiscal policy, it includes reducing government expenditure, increasing the amount of taxes, and public borrowing. So the first is reducing government expenditure. In a time of excess demand, the government needs to reduce its spending on public work such as roads, building, irrigation works, etc., thereby reducing the income of people and their demand for goods and service. Next is increasing the amount of taxes. In order to reduce the level of aggregate demand, The government should also increase the tax rate, especially on the rich people. Point number 3 is public borrowing. The government should borrow from the public during inflation by selling new government bonds. Government should make long-term debits more attractive so that public may use their excess liquidity amount of money in purchasing these bonds, which will reduce the liquidity amount of money in the economy and thereby inflation could be controlled. Another policy is monetary policy, and it is broadly classified into two methods, and they are quantitative methods and qualitative methods. Under quantitative methods, it includes increase in bank rate, increasing LRR, that is the legal reserve requirements, and sale of securities in the open market. So the first is increase in bank rate. The term bank rate refers to the rate at which central bank lends money to commercial bank as a lender of last resort. During excess demand, central bank increases the bank rate, which raises the cost of borrowing from the central bank, and it forces the commercial bank to increase their lending rates, which discourages borrowers from taking loans. It reduces the availability of credit in the economy and helps to correct excess demand. Point number 2 is increasing LRR, that is the legal reserves requirements. Commercial banks are obliged to maintain legal reserves. An increase in such reserves is a direct method to reduce the availability of credit. And there are two components, they are cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. Point number 3 is sales of securities in the open market. The central bank sells government securities to commercial bank in return for cash. As securities are sold by the central bank in the open market, the amount of money in the economy reduces. So the another method is qualitative method, and it includes margin requirement and moral suasions. So point number 1 is margin requirement. For example, if central bank fixes a 20% margin on the value of a security worth rupees 10,000, then the commercial bank can lend rupees 8,000 only to the holder of the security. To reduce excess demand, central bank raises the margin requirement. Point number 2 is moral suasions. During excess demand, the central bank requests the commercial bank not to advance credit for speculative or non-seasonal activities. It helps to reduce availability of credit and aggregate demand. Next, deficient demand, excess demand and cyclical fluctuations. So here, the trade cycle refers to ups and downs in business activities. Keynes laid emphasizes on changes in aggregate demand as a major cause of trade cycle. Excess demand generates inflationary pressure and deficient demand causes the situation of recession. When recession continues for long, it pushes the economy into the state of depression. In depression state, business settles at its lowest level of price, cost and profit. So you see here in this figure, RP line indicate an ideal situation of full employment of resources. Any upward or downward movement shows fluctuation in business activities. This fluctuation, example boom, recession, depression and recovery, are indicated by, you see the point A, B, C, D, E and F curve which is moving in a cyclical manner. So there are upward swings and downward swings in business. Every property is followed a slump and vice versa, and this is called a business cycle. And after reaching the boom state, there comes some slackness in business activities. Due to high level of prices, aggregate demand begins to fall, leading to slackness, and this is referred to as recessions. And when the business settles at the lowest level of price, cost and profits, productive activity, it is referred to as depression. So students, with these topics, chapter 5 ends. Thank you.